To me, a great game is one that sticks with you, one that you remember. If you ask me about a game I've played and I can't remember the main plot points, the characters, or the gameplay, it's just not a great game in my opinion. But hey, the 40 games you're about to see on this list stand above the rest. This is the list that cuts through the noise and delivers unforgettable gaming experiences. Let's get into it. Good. First up, we've got Rise of the Tomb Raider. Let me just say this, the visuals in this game are top tier. Every snowflake, every droplet of water, every rock in the environment has this level of detail that makes it hard to believe this came out in 2015. Lara Croft's movements, facial animations, and expressions all seem so lifelike that I half expected her to ask me for a coffee break after a particularly intense sequence. The landscapes though, and those frozen mountaintops and lush forests, pure eye candy. The lighting in particular is a showstopper, especially during the dramatic moments when the sun's hitting the snow just right, and the world looks like it's been painted with a golden brush. Rise of the Tomb Raider makes everything feel like a cinematic experience. And the best part is, you get to control it. And who doesn't want to live that dream? Let's talk about Wind Waker now. This one's a bit older, originally released in 2002, but its cel-shaded art style has never looked outdated. The cel shading technique gave the game a cartoonish feel, but in the best way possible, like you're playing a Saturday morning animated series, except with dungeons, pirates, and a magical boat. The colors are vibrant, the characters' expressions are delightful. It was timeless in its design. The sea adventures, the island hopping, the wave-filled moments, you can get lost in its charm for hours. Wind Waker is a great reminder that you don't need ultra-realism to make a game look amazing. Grand Theft Auto V is one that's still blowing people away with its visuals. Released back in 2013, it's a game that continues to evolve, thanks to updates and the power of the newer consoles. But even back on the PS3 and Xbox 360, GTA V was a sight to behold. The sprawling open-world environments of Los Santos were absolutely jaw-dropping. The sunlight reflecting off skyscrapers, the water shimmering in the bay, the sprawling city streets, and the rural countryside. Even the most mundane task, like driving down a random street, feels like you're in the middle of a movie scene. The character models too hold up incredibly well. Trevor, Michael, and Franklin all look so detailed, and their facial animations are incredible, allowing for some real emotional depth. The lighting in particular is next level. The game creates the perfect mood for every scenario. And let's not forget the attention to detail. There's a reason this game is still used as a benchmark for open world design.
You suck. I mean, you really sucked.
The latest innovation in
Next up, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, a modern reimagining of one of the most iconic JRPGs ever made. This version leans more towards action, so it's not technically a JRPG anymore, but it builds the original Final Fantasy VII story from the ground up, with Integrate focusing entirely on the Midgar section of the story. It combines real-time action with a tactical command system, allowing for fluid combat that still rewards strategic thinking. The game expands key characters and plot lines, adding new scenes and deeper interactions that enrich the narrative.
Don't think so.
With a mix of exploration, combat, and story-driven movements, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate offers a fresh take on a classic that balances nostalgia with modern gameplay design.
This is a one-time gig. When it's done, we're done.
Let's shift gears and talk about Bloodborne. Released in 2015, this game still holds up visually, thanks to its gothic, eerie atmosphere and haunting design. From the decrepit streets of Yharnam to the eerie, nightmarish landscapes of the Hunter's Dream, the game's world feels as alive as it is terrifying. The thing about Bloodborne is that the design wasn't about flashy, high-tech graphics. It was about atmosphere. The dark, gritty textures, the flickering lanterns, and the mist-filled environments created a sense of dread that's almost palpable. You could literally feel the tension in every corner you turn. The character design, particularly the grotesque creatures, are unsettlingly detailed in the best way possible. The way the lights play off the walls and the shadows stretch across the terrain is one of the most impressive features. Even the combat animations, Every swing, every dodge, every visceral attack looks fluid and brutal, almost like an art form. The game's use of color is minimal, but that works perfectly for the world it's creating. It's a masterclass in horror and design, and honestly, Bloodborne could stand tall in 2025 and beyond. Now we've got another heavy hitter in the RPG genre, and possibly one of my favorite games of all time. Elden Ring is a masterclass in game design, brought to you by the creators of Dark Souls and Bloodborne. It's a challenging open-world RPG set in the hauntingly beautiful world of the Lands Between, where you play as the Tarnished. Nothing else really compares to the sense of discovery you get with this game. The world is crafted with perfection, vast, full of secrets, and entirely up to you to explore. There's no hand-holding. Instead, the game encourages you to go out and find your own path, whether that's by battling formidable bosses or uncovering hidden dungeons. The open-world design allows for a sense of freedom rarely seen in RPGs. Combat is tough, just like in Dark Souls. It's fair, rewarding, and full of options. You can customize your character's abilities, magic, and combat system to suit your playstyle. The difficulty is part of what makes this game so satisfying, but not so hard that you'll get stuck. If you haven't played it or completed its expansion yet, now's the time to get back into it. Every step in Requiem feels like dragging a boulder uphill. The game has a gritty feel to it. Amicia feels like a real person. Tired, angry, doing her best while everything falls apart. Hugo's story cuts deep without ever begging for sympathy. It's just tragic, straight up. Personally, I enjoyed the story more in this one than I did in Innocence. It just has more tension and the soundtrack messes with your head in all the right ways. The gameplay leans hard on stealth. You're constantly juggling light, shadows, and distraction tactics to survive. Not only sneaking, but outsmarting enemies in tense, clever ways. And the rats, bloods of them. It's like a furry horror show that won't quit. This one's a wild mix of beauty and chaos that grabs you and doesn't let go.
Is this true?
Clair Obscur looks like it fell out of a painting and landed in a fever dream. Set in a surreal French-inspired world, the game follows the last members of Expedition 33 as they try to break a curse that's wiping out humanity, literally erasing people from existence, 1 year at a time. It's a turn-based RPG, but it doesn't play like one. Every attack and defense is active. You aim spells, dodge in real time, and react fast. Almost like it's part shooter. It's flashy, tactical, and weirdly intense for a turn-based system. Visually, it's unreal. Think Bloodborne meets Disco Elysium, with a dash of Persona flair. The enemy designs are twisted, the world is haunting, and the music leans hard into the dramatic. Expedition 33 has serious Game of the Year potential if it sticks the landing. There's nothing else like it right now, and that alone makes it worth keeping your eyes on.
Well, I recognize that dour expression anywhere.
This next game delivers that knockout punch we all expected, only this time it hits deeper. Kratos and Atreus aren't only smashing gods, they're wrestling with family, fate, and all the messy stuff that makes you pause the game just to think. The combat feels sharper, more crunchy, and somehow smoother, with every swing and dodge packed with satisfying weight. The world is massive and buzzing with activity, packed with side stories that don't waste your time but do a good job of making you care. Plus the voice acting and cinematic moments, Oscar-worthy stuff. It's one you live through. And when it ends, you're left with that rare mix of awe, sadness, and that I want more feeling.
Stop Ragnarok to help people.
Before we move on to our next game, please support us by dropping us a cheeky sub. We appreciate it.
Are you coming with us?
Alright, don't sleep on the next one because Sleeping Dogs is like a kung fu movie you want to stay awake for. The hand-to-hand combat is pretty hilarious in this one, making every fight feel like a choreographed brawl. Driving is a blast too, with streets that feel packed and nail the Hong Kong vibes. The story and acting is what makes this game great. It's emotional and extremely well written for an open world game. You're an undercover cop stuck between two worlds, and the game nails that tension without ever feeling preachy. Plus, the side missions and random encounters keep things spicy, because who doesn't want to crash a wedding or chase down a criminal on a motorbike? Sleeping Dogs both asks you to play and drags you into a vibrant city that feels real dangerous, and totally immersive. There's a reason people are still talking about this one. You know, you see these 10 out of 10 game lists and you think, man, I'm not sure any game is truly perfect. Well, maybe this next one gets close, because Celeste is precision platforming at its peak. You play as Madeline, climbing a mysterious mountain while battling not just brutal terrain, but her own inner demons. It's tight, fast, and unrelenting. Every jump, dash, and wall grab has to be perfect. And when you fail, it's instant restart, zero downtime. Celeste tells a deeply personal story without ever slowing the pace. The writing is sharp, the soundtrack is haunting, and the level design constantly evolves in smart, satisfying ways. Think Super Meat Boy, but with extra layers. This is one of those rare games that hits just as hard emotionally as it does mechanically. If you want a game that'll test your reflexes and leave a mark, Celeste is essential.
You okay there?
You start this game robbing a train, then you blink, and you're bathing in a wooden tub while arguing with a guy named Lenny in a saloon. Red Dead Redemption 2 is massive, moody, and weirdly obsessed with detail. You play Arthur Morgan, a gruff outlaw with a conscience, slowly watching the world change and your gang fall apart. It's not a quick ride. You'll spend hours hunting elk, brushing your horse, or getting into fistfights because someone didn't like your hat. The writing, top tier. The acting, film level. The world, insanely alive. You can ignore the main story for 40 hours and still come back to something better than most games' endings. And when the story does hit, it hits like a train. This isn't just cowboys and gunfights, it's one of the most detailed and human open worlds ever made. Also, yes, you can pet the dog.
Every shot counts.
Playing Joel and Ellie's journey feels like riding a raw, emotional roller coaster. It's gritty, messy, and hits you right in the gut. The world's harsh, and the people you meet are even harsher. You'll sneak, craft, and fight your way through tough spots. But the story grabs you by the heart. The characters don't feel like game characters. They feel like real people with real struggles. For me, a great game is one that's memorable. If I finish a game and immediately forget some of the major plot points, locations, or even major characters, it's just not a great game. I don't know how many years the final sequence of The Last of Us 2 was burned into my brain, but nearly a decade later, when I went through the remake on PS5, I could still remember exactly how I felt at the end of my first playthrough. If you haven't played it, you're missing a game that sticks with you forever. It has a TV version for a reason, right?
You know how to use that thing.
I've had some practice.
Now we have one of the more recent entries on our list, which has clearly attracted a vocal and supportive fan base. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is the perfect change of pace. There's no chosen one storyline here, just gritty historical medieval life. Deliverance 2's commitment to authenticity found favor among the community. The word immersive gets thrown around a lot. Its future impact is sure to be huge, with countless shorts and reels being made about the game already. This historical RPG has already left a mark on its players. As one put it gives me hope for the future of gaming. Another game that gives us hope for gaming is the excellent Baldur's Gate 3. Dungeons & Dragons' influence on games is incalculable. Larian Studios' multi-award winner, the latest and perhaps greatest of all D&D-inspired adventures, is the new standard by which all tabletop-inspired RPGs will be judged. Beating Nintendo's amazing Tears of the Kingdom to multiple Game of the Year prizes is the least of its accomplishments. This one got some of the best turn-based gameplay you can get, and a story you can carve out in multiple ways and playthroughs. It's an RPG for the ages. Actor Neil Newbin, who plays the unforgettable Asterion, rightly points out that its depth of interaction, romances, and also friendships, storytelling, and freedom have legitimized games as an art form. Let us know if you agree in the comments. I've got to admit something. I actually didn't play through the Mass Effect trilogy until the Legendary Edition came out in 2021. I tried a few times to get into the first game back when it originally released, but it just never clicked for me. When the remastered collection dropped, I made an effort to push through the early parts of the original Mass Effect, and slowly, I began to appreciate what it was going for. While I still think the first game shows its age in a lot of ways, getting to the sequel made everything fall into place. I finally understood the hype. Mass Effect 2 is clearly the standout here for me. It's a near-perfect sequel, It takes everything the first game established and elevates it. Characters, world building, tension, everything. The story is gripping. The characters are written with real depth, and that ending, incredible. I know opinions differ, but for me, Mass Effect 2 stands as the high point of the entire trilogy. Alright, let's talk about Doom Eternal, a game that crashes in with relentless energy, throwing you into a whirlwind of fast-paced, high-octane combat. It demands constant movement, precision aiming, and quick thinking as you chain together kills with fluid combos that feel incredibly satisfying. Each level is designed with verticality and hidden secrets, making exploration just as rewarding as the intense battles. Players take on the role of the Doomslayer, battling hordes of demons with an arsenal of devastating weapons. The soundtrack is a thunderous blast, perfectly syncing with the chaos and driving the adrenaline through the roof. If raw, relentless energy is what you're after, this game delivers in spades. Resident Evil 4 is one of the best action titles of the modern era. Capcom was able to preserve the spirit of the 2005 original, but successfully modernize elements of its design, updating the plot, artistic direction, and structure to make it more palatable to players joining the series in 2023. With its slick, claustrophobic combat and stunning set pieces, RE4 Remake is absolutely worth your time and attention. The debate is out for which remake in the Leon Kennedy trilogy is the best. I'd say right now, that one's probably tied with RE2. They're quite different games though. Resident Evil, man. Gotta play them all. Sekiro doesn't care if you played Souls games before. It doesn't care if you've beaten 5 bosses in Elden Ring without taking a hit. Sekiro will humble you in seconds, and weirdly, you'll think it. That exact moment you stop blocking out of fear and start parrying with confidence, everything clicks. It's one of the few games where getting good isn't just a phrase, it's a full transformation. You go from, why is this so hard, to bring it on without even realizing it. And the swordplay? Sharpest in the business. Every slash, every death, every comeback feels earned. One thing that annoys me a little bit is the audio of the steel clashing constantly. I found it a bit jarring, you might want to mod that out. But anyway, by the time you hit the final boss, you're not the same player you were. Sekiro didn't only test you, it rebuilt you. Props to anyone that's actually able to finish it.
The motherlode. I can't believe I'm really...
Psychonauts 2 caught me off guard. I expected a fun, quirky sequel. But what I got was one of the most creative, heartfelt, and cleverly written games I've played in years. Every level is a wild, imaginative dive into the human mind, packed with inventive mechanics and powerful storytelling. The game also looks and plays fantastically. Double Fine managed to strike a rare balance. Hilarious and weird, yet surprisingly deep. The platforming is tight, the visuals are bursting with personality, and the characters, especially Raz, shine from start to finish. It's a sequel that not only lives up to the original cult status, but improves on it in almost every way. Definitely one to check out.
First official day on the job.
We sometimes put Breath of the Wild in this spot, but Tears of the Kingdom genuinely managed to surpass it, with the launch of the Switch 2. When I played it, I couldn't help but feel like Tears of the Kingdom captured what a great video game is meant to be. It's overflowing with creativity, packed into a tiny Switch cartridge, and somehow manages to be both deeply entertaining and emotionally nostalgic. Few games in recent memory have brought back that childlike sense of wonder the way this one did. Link's new abilities completely transform how you approach puzzles, opening the door to endless possibilities. The story has more weight this time around, and the expanded Hyrule is a joy to explore. It's hard to put into words just how rewarding the experience was. Those 95 hours flew by, and I'm already itching to return and see what I missed the first time. Every aspect of Titanfall 2 is incredible. The campaign moves fast with inventive level design and jaw-dropping set pieces that keep you engaged. The fluid movement system and giant mech combat blend perfectly, giving every encounter an intense dynamic feel. The rocket impacts are also super crunchy, which I love. The campaign was amazing with a story that made me emotional about a robot on unique levels that I will remember for a very long time. It just feels good to play. It's one of the best FPS games ever made in my book. Ori and the Will of the Wisp is a straight-up 2D masterpiece that slaps from start to finish. The art is insane, like stepping inside a living watercolor painting. The music hits you right where it needs to, and the gameplay, razor-sharp platforming that demands skill. The world is pretty huge too, loaded with hidden secrets, and the story packs punches that go way above its weight. This is an amazing sequel. It's a full-on upgrade that proves Ori is one of the best Metroidvanias out there. If you haven't played Ori games yet, you're missing out big time. You're also missing out if you don't hit that subscribe button. Plus, you're helping us out a ton, and we appreciate it. Next up, we have Terraria. Yes, it's that weird little 2D game you install on a whim, then 40 hours vanish and you're still arguing with a friend how to set up the best lava trap. It looks simple, almost like a Flash game from the early 2000s, but man, there's crazy layers of depth. Exploration hits that same nerve as old-school Zelda or Minecraft's early days. You dig down, fight some nightmare worm from hell, build a treehouse, then summon a giant eyeball because, why not? The progression is sneaky too. You think you've seen it all, then it throws entire biomes at you that you didn't even know existed. It's totally addictive. Terraria doesn't yell for attention, it just exists in that perfect, oh man, let's do another run category.
Coming?
Alright, so Dead Space is this super intense horror game where you're an engineer named Isaac, stuck on this massive ship that's just gone to hell. The place is crawling with these creepy zombie alien things called necromorphs, and the whole shit feels like it's alive in the worst way. Every noise, every shadow puts you on the edge. What's crazy is you just can't shoot them in the head like other games. You've got to think smart and take them out piece by piece. It's not just about the scares though. It's about that constant feeling of, oh man, I might not make it out of this. It's one of those games where you feel totally sucked into the world, and every little decision counts. Definitely worth checking out if you're into horror, or just want a game that keeps you on your toes. If you've ever wanted a game that hates you in the most respectful way possible, Isolation is it. It's like, oh, you thought hiding in a locker would keep you safe. Nope. This is survival horror turned up to 100. You make a mistake even once and it's game over. There's no shotgun to save you, no overpowered upgrades, just fear. And what I love is it's the kind of fear where, once you survive a section, you have to physically unclench your entire body. Doesn't that sound like fun? And the sound design, unmatched. That hiss, that sudden beep from a motion tracker, gets under your skin. Isolation feels like Alien the movie. That slow burn dread, that retro future aesthetic. This game delivers something you don't really get anywhere else. For a character nearing 40 years old, it's amazing that Mario has remained not only a beloved character, but one whose games are generally expected to be amazing. From that viewpoint, it's no surprise that Super Mario Odyssey is, yes, a great game. From a plumber to a doctor to a tennis star to a Goomba, Mario has endured. There will certainly be many more games to come on the Switch too, but this one's still almost certain to be lauded as one of his best. It's been over 25 years since DK started a 3D platformer, but it was worth the wait, because Donkey Kong Bananza is a true Game of the Year contender. This new DK is a fresh take on classic platforming that instantly hooked me. It combines vibrant levels with tight controls and fun, fast-paced action. The nostalgic vibe hits just right, but it also brings enough new twists to keep things exciting. It's a solid addition to the Donkey Kong lineup and a blast to play through. Donkey Kong Bananza is one of the most unique and immensely enjoyable games in recent memory. Plus, behind its chaotic open-ended gameplay and incredibly imaginative worlds, you'll find a lot of heart.
I'm plowing now.
You don't need a trailer. You don't need a pitch. Good. It's The Witcher 3. This is the game that shows up in every best of all time list and somehow still deserves to be there. It's the one your mate won't shut up about. The one that keeps you reinstalling. The one that actually lived up to the hype. What makes it a classic? It's the way you can lose a whole evening just wandering through the woods, chasing some cursed spirit, and come out of it feeling like you just watched a full season of prestige TV. It's how even a throwaway contract ends up being some emotional gut punch. Geralt's the glue, stoic, tired, weirdly compassionate. The dude's been through it, and you feel it every mile. The Witcher 3 isn't a game of the year kind of good. It's a this changed how I look at games kind of good. There's something almost intimidating about Hollow Knight. It's quiet, it's cryptic, it barely tells you where to go. But that's what makes it so good. Exploration is pure discovery. Every shortcut you open, every boss you stumble into, it feels like a new piece of content you earn through exploration. And the world, sad, beautiful, mysterious in a way that lingers. There's no hand-holding, no glowing arrows, just you, your little nail, and this growing sense that you're part of something ancient and broken. The soundtrack helps too. Melancholy piano themes that hit way harder than they should. For an indie game to pull this off, that's wild. Hollow Knight didn't just nail the genre, it quietly became a massive cult hit with a lot of you. Shout out in the comments if you're a Hollow fan. Is there a term for Hollow fans I'm missing here? I don't know. But Hollow fans works. Let's turn our attention to something that has a lot of fans, and that's the Horizon series. There's a lot that could have gone wrong here. Post-apocalyptic world, robot animals, a tribal girl with a Bluetooth headset. But Horizon Zero Dawn somehow ties it all together into something that is unique and memorable. I remember seeing my buddy playing this one for the first time and my jaw was on the floor. How cool everything looked, and it still holds up today. Aloy's easy to root for. Smart, capable, raised as an outsider, and constantly one step ahead of the people who doubt her. And Machine's absolutely the star of the show. The story takes its time, but once it hits the deeper sci-fi stuff, it goes places. There's weight to it. This feeling that civilization was wiped clean. And now, nature and tech are fighting for the steering wheel. It's got heart, it's got style, and come on, it's got a robot T-Rex. Ghost of Tsushima, or yeah, I'm gonna be here for a while. It's open world, but it doesn't bury you in icons. It invites you. The wind points the way. Foxes lead you to shrines. You end up wandering instead of fast traveling. Combat walks this perfect line between graceful and crunchy. 1 minute you're parrying arrows with a katana. The next you're ghosting through a Mongol camp with smoke bombs and fear. Jin's story isn't flashy. It's quiet, conflicted. A man stuck between honor and survival. This is another one of those games that I was just blown away by at first. But honestly, the biggest character might be the island itself. Tsushima is gorgeous. Every sunset looks like it was painted. Every leaf feels placed by hand. On paper, Nier Automata's open world doesn't sound revolutionary, but in practice, it's one of the most emotionally layered and mind-bending spaces you'll ever explore. You play as androids, 2B and 9S, fighting in a post-human Earth full of haunting ruins and creeping dread. The world isn't huge, but it's dense with atmosphere. Deserts with buried secrets, cities overgrown with greenery, abandoned amusement parks that feel both eerie and kind of beautiful. Combat is fast, stylish, and weirdly elegant. Platinum Games nailed it. But what really makes the open world stick is how it serves the story. There are hidden messages, secret endings, bizarre NPCs who drop philosophical bombs mid-quest. And sometimes the world changes subtly as the story shifts, making you wonder everything you thought you knew. Nier's open world isn't about freedom for freedom's sake. It's about guiding you through an experience you feel more than understand. And honestly, that's what makes it unforgettable.
Talking.
Yeah.
We've got a game that's always split the community, Death Stranding. But now it's back, bigger, bolder, and weirder than ever before with its sequel Death Stranding 2, On the Beach. Sam Porter Bridges heads deep into post-apocalyptic Mexico and Australia, reconnecting a shattered world through the chiral network. Kojima's team has cranked everything up. Faster movement, tighter combat, and signature blend of action, stealth, and strand systems feel more refined than ever. The visuals are stunning on PS5, but it's the storytelling that hits hardest. Strange, emotional, unforgettable, classic Kojima in the best way. You'll be laying roads, facing off against terrifying new BTs, and pushing through some of the most atmospheric landscapes in gaming. It's a bold reinvention on the Strand genre. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, keep on keeping on.
Are you in trouble? Do you need money?
Marvel's Spider-Man swings into action with a near-perfect recreation of New York City, offering a true open-world experience. Playing as Peter Parker, you navigate the city with fluid web-slinging mechanics that make traversal an art form in itself. Combat's pretty solid in this one too, combining acrobatics, gadgets, and Spidey's signature agility to create engaging encounters. You've got your side missions and collectibles as you'd expect, but they're pretty well integrated, and doesn't just feel monotonous. This one sets a high bar for superhero games, delivering a compelling story, satisfying gameplay, and an open world that feels polished. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the character, give this one a try. But before you do that, my subscriber senses are tingling. So please hit that subscribe and let us know what you think so far.
Miles, I love you. Both of you.
We love you too.
Fallout 4 doesn't get love from fans quite like New Vegas due to its dialogue system, but it made up for it with one thing, a wasteland that's fun to exist in. The Commonwealth isn't just some scorched desert, it's a weird, colorful, broken sandbox full of stories waiting to be unearthed. The game throws you into post-apocalyptic Boston as a parent searching for their missing kid. But like every Fallout, the main story is kind of just a suggestion. What really sticks are the side quests, stumbling into a vault where people experimented with paranoia, or following the trail of a vigilante robot named the Silver Shroud. That's the juice. There's just something about wandering into a ruined diner, finding an audio log, and suddenly you're caught in a whole subplot. That's Fallout magic. The stories you stumble into while chasing something else entirely, and don't get me started on the base building. I think I spent more time doing that than playing the actual game. Plus you can mod the heck out of it too.
If you need potions, you should try
Skyrim, well, it's Skyrim. You already know the memes, the re-releases, the mods, but at its core, it's still one of the most freeing open world experiences ever made. You step out of Helgen, the snow hits your face and boom, go wherever you want. Join the Thieves Guild, slay dragons, become a vampire or a werewolf or both. The game doesn't care, it just asks. So what kind of chaos do you feel like today? Combat's not amazing, but it works. And honestly, it's the exploration that keeps people coming back. Dungeons everywhere, weird ruins, that feeling of walking into a cave and not knowing if you'll come out rich, cursed, or married to a Daedra. We've used some heavily modded footage in these clips, so expect the console version to be a little janky and dated, but somehow, it still rules. Cyberpunk had a rough debut, no denying it, but after updates, DLC, and Phantom Liberty, it's finally the game you should now be looking at adding to your list of completed games. Night City is jaw-droppingly detailed. Neon alleys, corporate towers, grime, and luxury mashed together. It's not a wide-open space like Skyrim or Zelda. It's dense. Every corner feels curated, like someone built it with a story in mind. You're V, Merc, Rebel, whatever you make them, dealing with body mods, AI ghosts, and choices that carry emotional weight. The quests aren't fluff, they're honestly some of the best I've ever played. The late-game story writing here is off the charts. The quests carry weight, sometimes heartbreak. Give this one at least 10 hours to hook you, because when it does, it hooks you hard.
Put it to someone's head. Pull the trigger.
Let's go back to Japan now, but this time we're taking you to the neon-lit streets of 1980s Tokyo, offering a unique open-world experience that blends intense action with quirky side activities. In Yakuza 0, you alternate between two protagonists, Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima, each with distinct fighting styles and storylines that intertwine. The game's world is dense and vibrant, filled with mini-games, side quests, and colorful characters that add humor. From managing a cabaret club to engaging in dance battles, the variety in this game makes it a joy to play. The story delves into themes of loyalty, honor, and the complexities of the criminal underworld, and the combat is typically satisfying. Yakuza 0 stands out to me for its ability to balance serious storytelling with the typical absurdity you get with these games, making it a must-play for those seeking a different flavor of open-world adventure. So imagine you wake up in a morgue. covered in scars with no memory of who you are, but you can't die, like ever. That's the premise of Planescape Torment, and yeah, it's as wild as it sounds. This game is from the old school PC RPG era, where pixels were chunky, but the writing sharper than games are today. It's not about swords and spells as much as it is about words, and not just the skip dialogue kind. We're talking full-on philosophical debates with floating skulls, devils, and cosmic bureaucrats. You play as the Nameless One, an immortal dude trying to piece together who he is, and maybe more importantly, why he is. It's all wrapped up in the Planescape universe, which basically asks, what if every D&D plane of existence had a fever dream and built a city out of it? That's Sigil. It's weird, it's gritty, it's awesome. This is one of those RPGs that makes you fall in love with video games. Sure, the combat system may be a little dated compared to some of the Forgotten Realms titles, but the story makes this worth playing even today. Planescape Torment isn't just an old school gem. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful weapon in an RPG is your dialogue tree. Survival games don't come more alien than Subnautica, or less hospitable to human life. And though a sequel, Subnautica Below Zero, came out in 2023, it's still building upon a foundation set by the original. Stuck on an underwater planet, you must delve below the waves to find food and resources, eventually constructing your very own underwater base and submersible vehicles. 3D movement and a lack of oxygen make even the mundane act of gathering bits of scrap a tense adventure. Danger can come from any direction, and if you stay underwater for too long, you'll get a nasty reminder that you're the alien on this world. Vehicles, air pumps, and oxygen tanks allow you to stay under for longer, however, and the more familiar you become with the world, the more the ocean starts to become home. This can hook you in as strongly as this one. Sure, the series has always been known for its intense set pieces and jaw-dropping moments, but A Thief's End takes it one step further with its incredibly human story. Don't expect another treasure hunting game. It's a personal journey about Nathan Drake. He, his brother Sam, and even old adversaries are all complex, layered, and the relationships evolve as the story unfolds. Honestly, it's brilliant the whole way through. The action scenes are legendary, sure, but it's those quieter, more reflective moments that make the game a standout, at least for me. By the end, you're not just feeling the adrenaline of the chase, you're emotionally invested in the journey. And that's what every good game should do. If you've ever wanted to step into a blockbuster movie, Uncharted 4 is as close as it gets. Hideo Kojima's Metal Gear Solid 5 is proof that an open-world game can be both brilliant and bizarre. It's a sandbox that encourages creativity, experimentation, and the occasional questionable decision, like attaching balloons to goats for no apparent reason. Don't ask. The gameplay is where the game truly shines, whether you're sneaking through Afghan outposts or orchestrating elaborate distractions. Every mission feels like a puzzle with a dozen solutions. Want to quietly take out guards and slip by unnoticed? Go for it. Want to storm the gates like a one-person army? Sure, but good luck dealing with the consequences. This game rewards clever thinking and punishes recklessness, but it's always entertaining to see how far you can push your luck. Hope you enjoyed this one, folks. Leave a like if you did, and catch us in the next video. 21 RPGs worth spending 100 hours in. See ya!